Finesse fishing. To some anglers, it's one of the necessary evils of the sport. To others, it's one of their favorite ways to catch bass. Breaking out the light line and spinning reels can result in you catching large quantities of fish, as well as quality. When it comes down to crunch time out on the tour, and these pros are looking to fill the live well before heading to weigh in, they turn to finesse tactics.
I know a lot of people think I'm a flipper and I'm a spinner baiter. I've done really good in a lot of events, drop shot and things like that.
You know, I'm not really known as a finesse fisherman, but in today's fishing world, you need to know about every technique, because there's some situations when you get into that you got to be able to do everything.
There we go, little guy. Sit there and watch you swim around and come back over there and eat it. I mean, we're literally drop shotting now in about 20 to 40 foot of water over these trees. And you can see these trees as we go along, and you'll see the fish just kind of swim around at different angles, and every now and then we get, you know, one to bite it. And it's total vertical fishing with the Garmin Live Scope.
I'm going to talk a little bit about a drop shot, how I rig it up. And we're talking about a guy that's not, I don't think about every little finesse thing. I'm not worried about color quite as much. I'm not worried about, but I know how to rig a drop shot, and I know it's a great bait to catch a lot of fish. This is an open hook, so I'm rigging it in an open hook situation where I'm not dealing with a lot of cover, more for vertical jigging. A lot of times in the winter, you can just put an open hook on there and nose hook your bait. So when I run this bait on here, I'm basically going to run it hook up, and you look at that right there. So basically the hook is going to be standing up on the line. That's what I want. And so what I do is I tie just an everyday Palomar, and the only key is you want to keep a big tag in. So I'm pulling quite a bit of line out of here. And so then when I tie my Palomar, I'm going to tie it, run my hook in here. This is a number 2. So I'm going to tighten it up. So I tighten it up, and then I take my tag in and I actually go through the eye of the hook, and then I pull it, and then I basically pull the knot into the eye. And so then the hook is going to be standing up all the time. And then to put your weight on here, you can go with 1/8 ounce, you can go with 3/16, you can go with 1/4, you can go with heavier. The thing about it is you got to get the best for your situation. And so this weight sits on here extremely easily. I just grab the tag line, I pull it up into there, and so then it just basically sits right on there. And so all I'm going to do with this worm is when I hook it, I'm just going to nose hook it from the flat side. I'm going to go through, and that's my drop shot right there. And so when I drop that thing down vertically right there, the weight's going to sit on the bottom, and I'm just going to sit there and jiggle it and shake it, jiggle it and shake it. And this right here will get you a lot of fish. To me, it's best used when you're fishing something where you know where a school of fish is, you know where a rock pile is, you know where a little drop off is, you can see them. A lot of guys talk about video games. I'll get on my Garmin electronics and I'll actually be looking down, sitting there jiggling, 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 shaking. A lot of times you can actually see the fish come over to the bait and bite the bait. The reason I can tell he's biting it is because I can see the weight on the bottom, and then I can see the worm up on top. It'll actually be on top of it. Drop shot's a great way to catch a lot of fish. Even if you're not a finesse fisherman, you got to know how to tie it on.
That's probably what it is. Lots of little bitty ones. Come here. Throw away my worm. Drop shotting for dinks. We'll let you girl back up.
When drop shotting, you never know what size fish you might catch on any given drop. Selecting the right hook to match your presentation can be the deciding factor into whether or not you land that fish. Professional angler John Cruz suggests matching your hook to the bait you're fishing, and not to the size of the fish you hope to catch.
I base it on the size of my bait. Now this is a little 4-inch drop shot bait, and so the number 1 fits it really well. It doesn't overpower it, and you don't need a giant hook to hook and land big fish. That's a misnomer. You don't need them. This is a number 1. I'll use a 1/0 or even a 2/0 at times if I'm fishing bigger baits because it has better penetration. But I'll also go down to a number 2 as well, one size smaller than this if I'm fishing really small drop shot baits. Just kind of let the size of the bait fit which size hook, and I probably use a number 1 more than anything because that fits most drop shot baits.
There we go. Good old fish right there. Hook just like you want. You know, when you get out here fishing the sonar, looking at them on the drop shot, we've got our Panoptics going on the live scope. We literally can see the dots everywhere down there. We're gonna drop right back down on them again. And when you can see them, you put a bait in front of them, they'll bite it. Look at him. See ya. It's a good fish.
Now that we're familiar with the drop shot and how to rig it, after the break, we'll dive into the specifics of your line and show you a way to connect braid to a fluorocarbon leader, right here on the Fisherman's Handbook.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Groundbreaking designs, unsurpassed quality, and unshakable confidence. Welcome to the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series. Leading the industry for over 50 years, these rigs are custom crafted and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver the ultimate ownership experience. The legendary Ranger Z series. Unleash next level performance. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder. And by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here.
One of the best things about a spinning rod, in all conditions, you can really throw it a mile. And I've got braided line on here right now. And this is, you know, a lot of times on a spinning reel, I'll do 10 to 20 pound test on my braid, which is a really small diameter line. And then at the end of it, I'll tie anywhere from a 6 to 10 pound leader when I'm bass fishing, generally fluorocarbon, and I generally have a pretty long leader tied on there. And the reason why I like to use the super lines is manageability and castability, really, in really hard fishing conditions. You know, when you put monofilament or straight fluorocarbon all the way onto your spool, a lot of times it's a lot harder to manage. And with the braided line on there, it just comes on and off a lot smoother. Doesn't have that memory a lot of times that mono and fluorocarbon will have. And it really allows you to be a lot more efficient. Little shaky head fish. You ate it. The knots are the key to be able to tie all that together with, and that's always a challenge for a lot of people. You know, my best advice when it comes to tying knots is actually spend some time on a YouTube. Go to the Cabela's page, look at in the Bass Pro Shops page, look at all their knot tying demonstrations. The FG, the Yucatan, the Albright, those are great knots when it comes to tying a lot of the super lines on together.
I'm going to attempt to tie my braid to fluoro leader as fast as I can to show you how simple and small the red Phillips knot is. Take your fluorocarbon, which is going to be your leader line, tie a simple overhand loop knot. So there you go. I've got a circle right there. I'm going to take my braid, my main line, run through the hole, pull out about 8 or 10 inches, pull that knot down. Don't cinch it like you're trying to winch down a truck winch, just pull it tight. Then you're going to take your two fluoros, then your braid, and you're just basically going to tie would be like a single uni, but you're not doing a double uni knot. You're gonna tie a simple uni. So you wrap it around, make a circle. I'm gonna put it through about 7 times. 7 just always seems good to me when I'm tying because I can remember. Start screaming 7. Last wrap, pull it back through with my thumbs. Pull it down, wet it. Naturally, you want to keep the line a little wet when you pull it down. Take your tag in, on your floral, take the tag in your line of your floral and keep that knot up there coming down smooth, pulling. Watch it, it'll just pull right together. All right, now you've got a super tiny knot. Take your 2 tag ends that you're going to cut off, pull them out. Here's the key for me, is cutting these off right. So I've separated them. These are the 2 tag ends I'm going to cut. Got a super sharp, good pair of cutters. I'm going to bring it in, hold it tight like that, and cut it. Don't leave any fuzz or anything on the line. I want you to look how small that knot is, and it is strong. That is the Red Phillips floral to braid. It's one of the knot I use every day. Never has failed me yet. I'm ready to land Shamu the whale on a 7-pound line. There you go.
It's a nice one, that barge. You can kind of see behind me we're actually at the Port of Florence right here. Blinking around. Oh, that's a fatty right there. Look at that guy. That's fun. You know, you've got boat docks and rocks, and it's all man-made in here where they've come in and made it so that these barges can come through here and do what they need to do. The little guy there is just on the edge of one of these little rocky drop-offs. That's so fun.
Time now for another short break. On the other side, we'll talk about another very productive finesse technique, the shaky head. Stay tuned for more.
An entirely new species of extreme predator is moving offshore. The Yamaha 5.6-liter V8 XTO offshore outboard. Extreme big block thrust and power in the industry's first direct injection 4-stroke. Quiet, efficient, powerful, and proven Yamaha reliability. More than an outboard, it's a fully integrated power system. The all-new Yamaha V8 XTO offshore.
You sons of fishes. Ain't enough fish on this lake for 2 clubs.
Really? Well, we see plenty of fish live with Panoptics.
Yep. Dang, we should get Panoptics. Maybe we'll just take yours.
What's going on here? You boys have license?
Yes, sir.
Nope.
There he is. Oh, I got him.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time. Engel, the original high-performance cooler. Sunline America, the strength to guarantee your confidence. And by Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy. When fishing conditions get tough, finesse fishing is the way to go. Downsizing your line size and presentation can be the slight change needed to entice a fish into biting. And one of the all-time favorite baits to throw in these scenarios is the shaky head.
Oh, shaky head, good one. Come here, fish. Oh yeah. Boy, he choked it too. Come here, fish. Boy, he ate it down in there. You know, that shaky head on the dam is always a deadly bait to use all the time. Oh, skinny guy, post spawn all the way around. We're gonna let him go, get back fairly fast. You know, the shaky head, you know, you can never underestimate the power of this little guy in these types of situations. Middle of the day, you need to get a bite, rig it up and just kind of throw it out there. And you're just fishing along the rocks real slow, just kind of hopping along. That one there just really got heavy. I didn't feel a tick, I didn't feel anything on that bite, but that's a good sign.
You know, I get asked all the time, if you had to pick one bait, if you're having a tough time just to get a bite on, what would it be? And to me, it's a shaky head. And to me, this bait right here, when I get in a bind anywhere I go, I pick it up and I make some casts. Whether I rig it on a spinning rod, as far as my line setup goes, I'm using fluorocarbon, and this is 8-pound sniper. Sometimes I might use 10, sometimes I might go to 12, but 8 is probably my go-to. I actually got a liter of the fluorocarbon to braid, and I just like the feel of that braid. The braid gives you no problems on a spinning reel, so basically you never have any issues. There it is. That's a good one. A nice one. You know, a lot of times you get in really clear water, you can't get bites on anything else. A shaky head right here, a little over 3.5 pounder. That's a nice fish. That's awesome. And really, how do you fish this bait? Well, really, it's just a bait you just throw out there and then you let sink to the bottom and you just work slow. A lot of times you'll sit there and kind of shake your rod tip. Sometimes you'll just kind of hop it, but you basically are just keeping it on the bottom, hopping it back. It's a bait that gets a ton of bites. Anytime you're looking for a bite, you're struggling to get one, go to a shaky head. A shaky head is the bait that gets the bites. Now you want a bait that'll catch you a bass in any circumstance right here. And this is it. Shaky head. You can go with a 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch finesse worm. It doesn't always catch giants, but it can. Not a huge one here, but if you want a bite, this is the bait for you.
Coming up after the break, we continue talking about the shaky head and demonstrating different scenarios when this can be a productive presentation. Stay with us as this episode of the Fisherman's Handbook moves along.
Secrets are created to protect information, but keeping a secret is not as easy as it seems. For over a decade, anglers across the nation have used Secret Lures tackle to reel in their catch. From small ponds to large bodies of water and tour-level events, the secret to their success has been tied to the end of their line all along. They've been using Secret Lures. First you've heard of them? Maybe your fishing buddies aren't really your buddies. Visit secretlures.com and place your order today.
Probably one of the #1 questions I get, what line do I use?
That's a big debate. On every tour out there, everybody's debating which line.
I choose the simple side. My choice of line is Sunline.
One of my favorite lines to use is Sunline.
How all can you use it? Anywhere you want to. Anywhere there's water and bass, it's good. Walleye, catfish, trout, speckled trout, sharks.
There we go.
I don't say this unless I think it's true, but honestly, it's the best in the market.
At Sawyer, we use the best technology to make simple products that keep you going regardless of your journey. So whether you're boating, hiking, fishing, camping, or hunting, we keep you outdoors with a full lineup of products to both protect you and make the outdoors more enjoyable. Sawyer, we keep you outdoors.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Sawyer Products. We keep you outdoors. Secret Lures. The secret is out. And by Hobie Fishing. Mirage Drive Pedal Systems.
You know, when you look inside my rod locker box, you're always going to find a spinning rod with a shaky head tied on. I mean, it's just a proven fish catching bait combination for me every time I go out. Now, the size of the bait may change, the color of the bait may change, but the one basic item that's going to be consistent is going to be that little round you know, chunk of lead and that hook right there that I can take the bait of choice on and fish it around a variety of pieces of cover, because I know if I need one bite, a lot of times a shaky head will get me that bite. Good one. Oh yeah. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Right in the port of Florence. Boat docks, marinas across the nation. So fun, so easy to catch them. Oh, he choked on it too. Come here, fish. Come here, buddy. Oh, come on up here. Let's get you unhooked and let it go. Barely got you hooked. That's fun, isn't it? Never, ever gets old. I mean, you can see the backdrop. I mean, it's all man-made, just like you would find for any marina that you're gonna fish anywhere. Right now, we're throwing shaky heads. We catch them on about everything that you can imagine when you start fishing around this kind of cover. You just gotta adapt to the situation and the time of the year. You know, that fish right there. A lot of times what you find in a marina, they dredge them out. And I know that's what's happened here. The water comes out and it's got a fairly steep drop off, and there's big rocks where we're fishing right now, leading up to around where all these big barges are. Just targeting those fish out there in about 8, 9 feet of water, and they're picking it up, swimming off with it. For me, when it comes to targeting fish with a shaky head, I love to fish it on the riprap of a dam. I love to fish it on rock, bluffy type stuff where I'm kind of pulling it down along it, skipping it up under docks, fishing on the edges of poles or other places, dragging it down boat ramps. I mean, a shaky head's a very, very versatile bait and rig combination, no matter whether you're fishing it with a little 4-inch worm on there, or you even throwing 6, 8, 9, 10-inch size worms on a shaky head. Yeah. Well, we actually got way up off that current and was throwing towards those barges, and this little guy munched on it. I'll lose my worm there, critter. You're not very big, but you sure bit it. Bite your bite. Go back. Grow up to be a 4-pounder, buddy. Go up to be a 4-pounder. You know, shaky heads are a well-known technique that a lot of people are really stuck in their mind that it's only a finesse fishing technique. And while its roots are really well established in finesse fishing, it's a technique that definitely produces big bites as well as small bites. But it's a technique that no matter the conditions, you can probably get a few bites on. Got him. Oh, shoot. There he was. Yeah, he just jumped off. About the same size as all the other ones. He's still on there. He's on the other side of the cable. And one of the cables. This guy was jumping and jumping and jumping on the other side of the cable after we caught him. The shaky head can catch giants, and the shaky head can catch babies.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Fisherman's Handbook. This has been a Carico TV production.
Oh, he did stay on, just a little bitty guy. He was going so darn fast, I couldn't catch up with him.
I got my power pole down, stuck in the mud in the bottom of the lake, sitting so still in the wind and the waves, could even be a hurricane. I got my power pole down.
This tube is the greatest thing in the world. When you're catching fish on it, it builds your confidence. To me, that's the most important part of bass fishing, is you have to have confidence in this bait when we're throwing it.
I've had guys say, you fish like you believe there's a fish there. Well, I do. I'm feeling everything that I can feel with that bait.
If you need to get bites, it'll just absolutely get bit.
Here at Big Bite Baits, we've got a big line of different plastics, and you know, they're all a tool, so you want to have them with you all the time.
I made several checks in crowded areas flipping that right there. Just a 6-inch Big Bite creektail worm.
Here at Big Bite, we came out with 4 brand new colors this year. All 4 of these colors are going to be great fish catching baits. Definitely my #1 go-to bait that Big Bite has out right now is the Big Bite Battle Bug.
Big Bite is leading the way when it comes to innovation and colors.
Many said that we were just obsessed when we started, that there had to be an easier way to smoke food. As time passed, the Bradley family created a lineup of Bradley electric smokers that has made it easier for the novice or even expert chef to get perfect results every time they use it. Grab yourself a Bradley smoker and take your cooking to an all-new level.
We demand a lot from the products that we use on our adventures around the world. When it comes to keeping things seriously cold, we rely on Angle Coolers, who have for over 50 years kept things cold. Angle Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
Hobie's Mirage Drive kayaks set the standard for fun on the water. Whether your passion is fishing, sailing, or recreational adventure, Hobie's got a kayak for you. Hobie's Mirage Drive mimics nature's proven designs for efficient and powerful propulsion and enhances your kayaking experience. Mirage Power, Mirage Performance, Mirage Drive. Hobie, enjoy the ride.